Hi, my name is Yali Sapphire, and if I love wrestling, you love wrestling, then we love wrestling.
You're not here, you missing out. This show.
Welcome to Women on Wednesday. Today we doing something special. You know, we done talk to people and who wrestle. We done talk to people who write stories on wrestlers. You know, we want to get somebody who's also in the ring. Somebody you probably seen on any of the major wrestling promotions that you watch, any women's events out here. We had with us the female ref, 7+ years experience, Yali Sapphire. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad that you are here. So the first question I always ask when people come on is, why do you love wrestling, or what started your love for wrestling?
The thing that started my love for wrestling was just the action. I started watching when I was 9 years old, and it was just something different than what I'd ever seen before. So I just love everything from the gear that they wear to the storylines, the fighting itself, and that's why I love wrestling.
Okay, but so you're a referee. How did you get into reffing?
Well, like most people, I wanted to be a wrestler. But if you've seen me in the ring, you know that I'm tiny and I didn't want to get hurt. So I decided to try to be a referee. I thought that'd be the safer route, and fell in love with it.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But you've been in there moving around in the ring. I mean, just recently, I think on an NWA show, you got used as the middle person. By some wrestlers. How does that feel, being a referee, and like you said, small stature, people try to push you around?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, but going back to the match that you're talking about, it was with JTG, and like it was just so surreal being in the ring with him because I watched him on TV as a kid. So to be in there, it was just so much fun. But for some reason, when I'm in the ring, I feel like a giant. Like I don't feel like this tiny little petite woman in between two, giant guys. I feel
Now,
like I'm equal.
okay, so I've seen you. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. So I know I saw you at NWA because we got something everybody went out to eat afterwards.
Yeah,
then I saw
I
you at
remember you.
Impact Wrestling.
Yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, Black Ref." I couldn't
yeah.
even hold it in. Were you also at Mission Pro?
Yes, that's I was at Mission Pro before NWA and Impact Wrestling pulled me in. But yeah, I'm kind of all over the place.
Okay, because I was thinking, I was like, I've seen her before NWA, and I'm like, where have I seen her at? And then I was actually I was talking to somebody about Mission Pro, and I went back to edit something in the video, and I was like, right there. I don't remember talking to you in at Mission Pro in Austin, but I know that you are there. So refereeing, you said you used to watch JTG growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else you ref the match for where you just like, oh man,
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's so many. Like I remember maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I got to do a show with Rodney Mack. I was like, I was thinking in my head before the hand, like, oh man, it'd be really cool if I get to ref this match. And I ref this match that night, and then I ref the second one that we did later on in that day. But like Jazz, and more recently, of course, the match that I did with Mickey James, like I remember just tearing up so badly before like walking through that curtain before the match, and then after the match, it was just like I remember I was like still shaking and just kind of like nervous from the adrenaline of being in there with somebody who was so great.
So have you had any moments where you're in the ring, like you get nervous or anything? Have you taken any bumps in the ring?
Yes, I have, and it's kind of weird because like my heart is always pounding right before it happens. I'm like, okay, here it comes, here we go. Let me mentally prepare myself, and then it happens. I'm like, oh my god, that was so fun. It was so great. Even if it hurts, it's still fun.
Okay. Are you used to? Do you prefer taking the bumps, or are you like, nah, I just want to do my ref thing? Like, has anybody, a lot of people they get in the ring with the referee. Oh, they try to test them. Has anybody tested you while you've been in the ring?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I was just thinking about that earlier today. There are some referees who like want to get bumped at every single show, whereas with me, I'd rather just ref and just like not be in the spotlight while still kind of being in the spotlight. But as long as it makes sense in the match, that's all I care about.
All right. So I'm gonna go into your journey of being a ref. So let's say I'm trying to get in and be a referee. Like you said, you started off trying to be a wrestler, then said, "Let me try to be a referee." How, like, did you also do the ref at the same school that you tried your training at?
Yes. Like I remember, well, when I started out, like that was the goal, was to be a referee. I kind of changed my mind before I even enrolled in the school, or did my tryout with the school. But they cross-trained me. Like they taught me how to like take bumps and do wrestling moves and submission holds and pinfalls. And it was fun, but I think for the most part, I just like being that extra person in the ring, kind of like a shadow. Because I don't know if you remember when we went out to eat, but I'm not like really uh, a huge fan of being like the center of attention or in the spotlight. I'm kind of shy and kind of, away in a corner against the wall from people. But I don't know. I think it's just something about the adrenaline rush of being in the ring that makes me a little more comfortable to be in that spotlight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What do I remember about that night going out to eat? I know we all had to walk because they ain't had no food.
Yeah.
And then I was off to myself a little bit because I was tired. I was like, man, I don't know. Came out here. I got to drive back home in a while. So,
You drove all the way out there?
I mean, from I live in the Midwest. So
okay.
when people usually see me, they like, where you from? Some ask me if I'm from Florida, some ask me if I'm from Texas, but I'm right here in the Midwest. So, that was only like a 2.5 hour drive for me.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, good stuff. I just happen to travel a lot. So let me ask you, because, I saw you at Impact. You didn't mention this match, but you was you was out there reffing a real deal match, that Monsters Ball match.
Yes.
Were you a little nervous? Because there was a lot of things being thrown around in that match. And
I was like, I always get nervous whenever there's weapons because I know they're going to, just swing for the fences. And I don't want to be too close when they start swinging stuff and throwing stuff. But yeah, it was a fun match, though. I definitely had to like constantly keep an eye on where everybody was because I didn't want to be in the way. And also I didn't want to get hit by anything. But it was so much fun wrapping that match.
It's like, this crazy. Look at her. Gonna count the 3 for Savannah. Okay, I see you out here doing your thing. Can I ask that without breaking kayfabe? So, okay, yeah. So what's like something I've talked to one ref, but this is the first interview I've done with a ref. So what is something as a referee that you want to do in the ring that referees shouldn't do in the ring?
I've like as far as taking moves go, I would say being choke slammed, but like one of the things I always wanted to do was stunner somebody, and I got to do that at a show. But yeah, I don't know. Gosh, that's a good question.
You got to stun somebody?
Yeah, and I landed awkwardly and hurt my hip. So I guess if I had to do something, it would be that all over again, so I could like hit it right.
Right. Oh man. Stunner people want to take a choke slam. You would take a choke slam from someone?
Yeah, it looks like it'd be fun. Like my way of going out of the wrestling business, I've always thought it'd be cool if somebody could choke slam me onto a table. Like that would be like the ultimate, just take me out, and retire after that. I know it's crazy, but if I'm gonna get injured, I might as well, go. I mean, if I'm gonna leave wrestling, I might as well go out with a bang. And if I get injured, it's okay because I don't have to work anymore, right?
True. Now, also, glad this came to my head. So we've seen an influx of Black referees. Aja Smith, Black woman referee, getting her shine on TV and everything. Do you have a goal or ever wanted to go to maybe you've been on Impact, you've been on NWA, maybe get into like AEW or WWE, be a referee?
Well, yeah, I had a WWE tryout back in, I want to say 2018, which was great. But like right on the last day of my tryout, someone, kind of pulled me aside and said, hey, just so you know, they're most likely going to go with female wrestlers to train as referees. So I kind of gave up on that dream. And then when AEW came around, I thought it'd be really fun to, like make history. And I'm always open to that idea of being on that show because I think that would be great too. It kind of complete the circle of all the promotions that I've worked for. So yeah, it's definitely a goal.
Young referee out here coming up, trying to get in.
Yeah, not that young though. I just got a young face.
So let's say I'm a young referee trying to come up. What advice would you give me being a young referee? Definitely.
First off, work on cardio. Because like as a ref, you wouldn't think that we do that much in the ring, except for just, fall on the ground and count to 3. But it's a lot of running around. Plus you're under the bright lights. You're constantly yelling and just trying to remember stuff. So yeah, work on cardio. And aside from that, just start. I mean, that's the best thing you can do. It's just to, go for it. Commit to it.
Start, commit to it, work on cardio. If you don't have cardio, because
look.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a dicey conversation.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass that one up.
I mean, follow your heart, and if you find a place that books you, that's great. I think that's the nicest thing we can say about that.
It's some, yeah. All right. Yeah, if you want to follow your heart. If you want to be a ref, that's all I'm gonna say. You almost got me there. So cardio. Let's talk about cardio. You posted a video on Instagram. What it was, 70s or 80s workout video talking about this is the cardio that you do. What would your cardio consist of? Like treadmill, running?
Yes, mostly treadmill and like exercise bike. I don't know why, but I've always loved running ever since I was a kid, even now that I'm older. But yeah, I mostly work out with the Nike fitness app that they have, and it's free, and you can like set up hour-long workouts, 30-minute workouts, whatever you want to do. And that's mostly what I use to stay in shape and just kind of work out at home, since I don't really have time to go to a gym or anything.
All right, now we're gonna get a little dicey here. So,
should I be scared?
No, nothing bad. Nothing bad.
Okay.
Have there ever been moments as a referee where you was like have a competitor in the ring and you just like, you know what? I can't take this. We need to end this match. I just need to get out the ring.
Yeah.
Moments like that.
Absolutely. That is dicey. That is definitely dicey. But I think for the most part, you just have to remain professional and keep in mind that you have a job to do, and you have to just put your personal thoughts and opinions aside. But yeah, there's definitely been moments where I'm just like, I could easily just roll out and just get in my car and go home. But yeah, I can't do that.
Because I mean, some wrestlers, they like to mess with refs and everything. I'm like, and I'll be looking like sometimes like, I wonder how the ref is really feeling at this moment, because this fight's cool, but it's going past a little.
Yeah. And I think I feel fortunate because like most of the time when people mess with me in the ring, we also do kind of like that same thing in the locker room in a joking way. Because like I'm pretty cool with everybody, but yeah, there are some people that are just kind of I don't know where their head is at sometimes. If that makes any sense. Like it's just awkward.
I can kind of feel what you're saying here. I don't want to go too far into all that, but
yeah.
So, being a referee out here, Black woman referee, are there any? Is there like a Black referee alliance out here or anything?
There should be. That'd be cool if there was.
Because it's a few people out there. I mean, not on the independent scene that I've seen. I know you. I know Nick Shin.
And then there's AK the Ref, who's also here in Kansas City. He does shows too. He's a Black ref. And then I think there's like 2 guys down in Texas who also ref.
I've seen them. I don't know their names. No disrespect to you guys, but I have seen. Um, Kansas City area, right there close to, well, not close, but right there across the state to
Hmm.
St. Louis. There's a little thing coming up. I mean, I got Mission Pro on this side. I
Yeah.
got this over on this side. Yeah. You trying to be a referee on that? They called you? You contacted them?
No, I haven't, but like I said, I'm always open to things. It's just that sometimes I'm scheduled in one place and then I'll get like a phone call or a message from somebody at a bigger place and I have to turn it down. It's like I'm already committed, but then there are other times where I'm like, I'm just gonna have to cancel work for this other place. But yeah, I don't know, like the future, it's everything kind of happens unexpectedly and I try to play things by ear just to see.
Okay. I mean, you out here. I don't know where you gonna pop up. I just be looking, be like, hey,
Hmm.
there she is. Okay, looking good. Okay, there she go again. Hey,
Right. I
we
remember
kind of
seeing you at that Impact show. I was like, he looks really familiar. And then you mentioned NWA. I was like, that's that one guy. And it actually made me feel comfortable because, like, whenever I'm in the ring and I don't know anybody, I get a little more nervous. But if I know just one person or one familiar face, I feel a lot calmer.
yeah. I'm because that day at Impact was like crazy. So
Mhm.
we went down there a little early. So I was there and I was like, oh, okay, they don't do the women's thing today. And I'm like, and we were actually about to leave. And the guy was like, no, stay for the second show.
Right.
I got you. I was like, all right, we're going to stay for the second show. So as the women coming out, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, snap. Okay, what's up, Savannah? What's up,
Mhm.
Renee? What's up, Lady Frost? And everybody look, they like, oh, what's up? Hey, you here? And then I looked, I was like, oh, snap, Black Ref,
Yeah.
Impact, NWA. You know, I got hype in myself because I'm like, I know the wrestlers. Oh, I know one of the referees, the
Mhm.
Impact hire, what's going on, what's the move. Can we ask those questions? Do you work for NWA Impact or anyone?
I'm
Are they
sorry.
are you on the payroll with any of these big companies? Because
I'm not. I wish I was. That'd be so great.
they just brought you in for the events.
Yeah. And then I did a few TV tapings too while I was there.
How'd you get that? How'd you get on for that? Because that's big time. I watch
Hmm.
NWA. So how'd you get those calls? Who called you? Mickey James?
No. But she did come into play in a little bit. I'll explain. It started out with a referee named Becky Phillips, who also did the WWE tryout with me.
Mm-hmm.
She contacted Robert King, who's the senior referee at NWA. And then he reached out to me and called me. And I remember he was on the phone. He was like, yeah, I watched some of your stuff. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was just so nervous and had butterflies and everything. And he was like, also, I talked to Mickey James about you. She should be contacting you shortly, da da da. And she eventually did. She sent me a text that said, hey, this is Mickey James. And I just remember putting my phone down and I just walked around my house like, oh my God. It was just so crazy. But yeah, I got the booking. I showed up and it just, same thing with Impact Wrestling. It felt so surreal. But with Impact, Gail Kim reached out to me and got my number from Mickey. And I remember waking up to the text from Gail Kim, and I was like, yeah, right, this isn't really her. And I went back to sleep, and then I woke up again and said, let me check this out. And sure enough, she was like, can you come into Nashville? And I was like, yeah, of course. So, yeah, it's so crazy, like how things have happened and just the way life in general, the way life unfolds. It's surreal.
St. Louis, Nashville.
Hmm.
How'd you get the Mission Pro? Because I mean, you being at Mission Pro.
Robin Reed. I did a show with her at Sabotage Wrestling many years ago, and we kept in touch over Instagram. And she sent me a message and told me about Mission Pro kind of doing an all women's event. And I thought it was just going to be a one-shot deal, but I ended up consistently working with them throughout the year in quarantine and everything. So that's how that got started.
That's wild. Because like as I go back, because I was at a lot of those events, I remember seeing your face. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know if I ever said anything, but I was in Texas by myself all those times. So it was like,
Me too.
besides the wrestlers who I knew, everybody else, I'm just like, hey, few people knew me from Facebook. I was like, all right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's always a fun show.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question real quick? Like, what is it like for you meeting like the big names? Like, do you freak out? Like, do you get nervous too? I've always wondered.
I don't know if I get nervous. If it's the very first time meeting them, I have a little anxiety because I'm like, oh, it's this person off TV. I'm about to talk to him right now. And, then that goes away.
Yeah,
the only thing that gets me nervous is the other people we love wrestling. They be like, talk to them, see if they'll say the tagline and everything. And when it comes to me, if I'm at an event and I'm supposed to ask somebody to do something, I don't want to mess with people like that. So, but then people be like, just ask. Of course we'll do it for you. But I'm just like, I don't want to really do that. But, it's only maybe like 2 or 3 people now who could get me flustered when I see them each time. And it doesn't matter. It takes about 2 minutes for it to go by. And then I'm like, oh, we cool. But when I first see them, it's like,
do you mind saying who they are?
Nah, I'm not giving those names.
I tried.
Nah, I'm not giving them up at all. I give it Mercedes Martinez only because when I started going back to independent shows in 2014, at the end of a show, I was walking out, a Shimmer show. I was walking out and she was like coming out from somewhere. And we had a conversation because I didn't feel right at Shimmer for some reason. I was like, it's all these women wrestling. I see all these dudes in here. I'm like, I shouldn't be in here. Something about this just doesn't feel right to me. And she had a short conversation with me. So, every time I see her, I go back to that moment. I'll be like, oh, man, you're like the reason I keep doing these indie events.
That's cool, though.
The second... I don't know if I really should give up the second person name. The third person is only because Savannah Evans. Only because we cool now, but when I first found out about her, and then when I met her, it was in Chicago, and she was walking by. It was at All Out, and I was like, she looks like, because she wasn't sponsored or nothing, but I was like, that looked like Savannah Evans. And everybody was like, that is her. So the moment that we got to meet and everything, I was all nervous and fan mark mode and everything. So I still get that feeling too. But yeah, I'll give you those 2 names, but that's about it. Now I got to ask you, is there anybody that you get like that with? Because, you've been around all the big names yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. Like mostly the people that I watched as a kid, whenever I see them in the locker room, I get nervous. But I always like feel the need to like go up to them and at least say hi and introduce myself. Like I did a show with Sabu and Big Cass. Like I didn't realize how big he was until I saw him in the locker room. And I was like, oh my God, there he is. I should say hi. And I just walked up to him and said hi. Oh, and Mark Henry too, who turned out to be like really cool and down to earth. And Teddy Long, like just even Charlie Haas. There's like a bunch of those older guys that I remember watching. And Melina too. I was so nervous to introduce myself to Melina. But she's like the sweetest person in the world.
She's one of those names. She's that other name since you said it. Yeah. Melina. My heart. Sorry.
It's okay.
Had a moment there, but yeah, every time I see her, even though she's so nice and sweet, but every time it's just like, I remember watching you growing up and everything, and I go back to that little kid mode.
Yeah.
No disrespect either, but I forgot this man's name, and only because when I was growing up, he was a big part, and I got to interview him. Two Coast Scorpio. It's like every time I see him, it's too cold. On the road. I always gotta do the dance, which is crazy. Yeah, we're gonna ask this. So this is not a dicey question. It might be a little hard for you, but I don't think it's too hard.
Okay.
Rock or Stone Cold?
On the mic or wrestling?
Overall.
Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's not fair. I love Stone Cold. He's my favorite wrestler as a kid and still to this day. But The Rock was The Rock, you know? He had like all the catchphrases. He was attractive. He was fun. He was like, that's a tough one. That's not a fair question.
I ask everybody.
Okay, I'll go Stone Cold. I'll go Stone Cold. Because The Rock left wrestling to do acting, which I'm happy for him, but still, Stone Cold stuck around.
Unfortunately, you do not win the Rock prize. If you would have picked The Rock, you would have got the prize. Last two people have not picked The Rock, so we got those. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
Did I hurt your feelings? I'm sorry.
No,
I choose The Rock.
It's
Can
no.
Is it too late?
The prize is over with, but there's no right or wrong answer to that. You know, that just came up randomly one day, and we started asking people, and a lot of people like, oh, so you know, it always opened up more conversation when we ask people that. So, I mean, it's nothing against picking Stone Cold. Good guy. I like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I would have preferred The Rock, but I like Stone Cold too. Now, Yali, we come to the end of our session here. You know, a great conversation. We do this thing where we call "It's Your Time to Shine." It's the put yourself over moment. This is basically where you let everyone know your social media, things you have coming up, your referee, any ways they can support you, any companies you want to put over that you work with. We just want you to put yourself over.
Right. Well, like you said, my name is Yali Sapphire. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Female Ref. One of the shows that I really do want to put over is the Black Wrestlers Matter show that's going to be in St. Louis on February 19th next year. So please come out, support us, and support wrestling in general.
Hold on, Yali. We got issues. We got to talk. I just sat here and asked you about the Black Wrestlers Matter show.
Did you? I'm sorry.
You didn't know.
I'm sorry. You glitched out. I'm sorry.
Right here.
And I just now see the poster.
I just asked you about that. You was like, you know, you never know what comes up. So February 19th.
I did work for them earlier this year. We should just redo the whole recording, the whole interview.
No, we not.
Just throw the whole thing away. We'll redo this.
It's a one set go, but Black Wrestlers Matters 3 this year in St. Louis. She's gonna be on that. You know, I was at the first two. They're not in Iowa. We're not in Iowa anymore, people. We in St. Louis. You know, I've already said it on one, so I expect a different crowd setting than we had in Iowa both times. Woo!
Yeah.
I know a lot of people already got tickets. So this your first Black Wrestlers Matter show?
This is the second one because I was on the one they had in, I think, March or April this year. That was in Des Moines. I was there.
Were you?
Yeah.
In the club?
Uh-huh. I was the only referee in stripes that day. Shame on you. You don't remember me.
Minute. Wow. I mean, where they had me sitting at, I don't really remember the referees, but I know I got video from that day.
Okay, go back, watch the videos. You'll see.
Wow. That is you. I feel, well, I've also seen you at Black Wrestlers Matter. Well, all right, let's go. Look at you out here everywhere.
Yeah.
How did it? So we gotta talk about this now. We ain't got to redo it. How did it feel being at a Black Wrestlers Matter show? Because you know,
it was so much fun. Like it was the first time I'd ever not been one of the only Black people in the locker room. So it felt like home. Like everybody got along with each other. Everybody was down to earth. It was just a great place to be. And yeah, it was an awesome experience, and I can't wait for the next one.
So that's you
There
right there.
Yeah, that's me.
Look at that, Terry. Come on, you got to know this stuff, man. I'm so upset. I'm so sorry.
Shame on you. This totally takes away the fact that I missed the question earlier in the interview.
It does. It totally takes away from that. Were you out there with everybody before the show doing the meet and greet and after the show?
No. I normally don't do the meet and greets because I feel like no one really recognizes me or knows me. So I just kind of hang out in the locker room area.
Come on. We know you got to be out there walking around because
I know.
Can I speak for part? Okay. I'm going to speak for the Black delegation here. Black wrestling fans. So this interview probably is going to go up. You know, it's December. Mm-hmm. And people going to be like, oh, snap. It's a Black referee, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to start to notice you. And you probably get some follows and everything, but we like to support our own out here, you know? I mean, it's all about the culture, and, you know, that's why when I saw you at Impact, I was like, oh, snap, Black referee, you know? I get hyped because that's what we do. We out here, we trying to support everybody Black trying to do something in wrestling, you know? If we know about a show that maybe you can make it to, we try to send things your way. That's why earlier I was asking, like, are you on the Black Wrestlers Matter? Do you know about the show? Because if not, let me talk to Mike Outlaw and all them. Make sure you out there because you right across in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's all about that support. You know, every time I see you, I'm going to pay attention now. I mean, I don't know how I missed you, but I know that night.
I'm on you for missing me.
I missed you that night. Because I never got close to the ring. So where I was sitting at, I probably saw you as a referee, but I was just like,
yeah, it didn't come clear.
It didn't come clear to it. But then, you know, seeing you at NWA came clear. Then so you've been at a lot of shows that I've been at. Yep. Mm-hmm. Every time you had a show that I'm going to say, yo, Yali, the female rep, what up?
I'd be like, yo, Trey.
Make sure get it. Yo, that's how I'm kicking off Black Wrestlers Matter. I'll be like, Black Referees Matter, because I got a front row seat. If you think I'm playing it, I won't do it. I got a front row seat. As soon as I see you, I'm saying it. I'm talking to you at every show now. You part of this family. What size shirt you wear?
I wear small.
We got a shirt coming for you too. A We Love Wrestling shirt. Black Referee. Yes, sir. Let's go.
I'll definitely rock it.
All right. Oh man, Yali. Again, thank you for giving us this time. I was still here looking at this video like, dang, she really was a referee at that event. And I didn't even.
Well, I think Mercedes was at that show too.
What show?
The one that you're watching, the Black Wrestlers Matter show.
Mercedes who?
Oh, I'm sorry, Maserati. Sorry.
Okay.
Wrong vehicle.
Yeah, Maserati and Estrella. Yeah. After the event, I assisted them getting a ride back to where they were staying at. So, you know, because we left there, we went over to the pizza place. We ate pizza, linked up with Brooke, Darius, Jossie, and JDX. Yeah. See, so where was you at? Back at your hotel chilling?
No, me and one of the guys that worked that show were actually on the road driving back down to Kansas City after that.
Oh, yeah, I had to get a hotel for that. That was a 7-hour trip. I was like, can't do this. Not this time. All right, man, I'm just excited. You got Black Wrestlers Matters coming up. You gonna they're gonna watch this and I'm gonna feel so bad. So you said you got on Mission Pro because of Robin Reed, right? Have you been in contact with Robin Reed about any other events?
Yes, she did contact me, but due to scheduling issues, I couldn't make those shows.
Oh, okay. Because, you know, January 22nd, Diamond Cup. That's just my little plug. We are on as sponsors with Generation Championship Wrestling. He says we're sponsors for life, but, you know, an all women's card. Maybe she could have been there. She can't. She's booked and busy refereeing everywhere. So hey, maybe she'll be down there at GCW someday in Florida. But all right, Yali, I'd like to thank you for giving us this time, coming on, letting us talk to you, giving you this spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Look out for her. Black Wrestlers Matters 3 in St. Louis. Trust I'm going to do something with it. So we're going to talk to her live when we at the event. Make sure y'all see it, see how she enjoyed the event, give a recap of it because, Black Wrestlers Matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
But like I always say, if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet for the coach.